Marbello Monastery. June 1872, south of Italy. Mothers would put up lemonade stands, children would beg for ice cream, and farmers would pray for a few hours of rain. That was the summer that young Camilla Alesi joined the Marbello Monastery in the picturesque ancient town of Tropea. Surrounded by an infinite turquoise sea and golden soft sand, Tropea's magnificence could not be engraved even by the finest Greek sculptors. The monastery was rested on top of an incredibly sheer cliff that was believed to have been carved by Hercules himself, a rumor that couldn't compare to the one that brought Camilla there in the first place. Camilla was born and raised in a small village nearly 3 hours away from Tropea. Humble origins could have very well summarized her upbringing if it weren't for all the riches inside of her head. From the moment that she was born, Camilla's mother noticed a distinctive sparkle in her big round eyes that only became brighter over the years. As she blossomed into a timeless, beautiful bird, Camilla struggled to fit in, since she didn't show the appeasement that most people in her community did. To secure a better future for their only child, Camilla's parents promised her hand to the son of the wealthiest family in the village, the Morelli, as soon as she turned 16. Carlos, her soon-to-be husband, was enchanted by Camilla's beauty from the very moment they met. Her spirit, on the other hand, was the reason why she refused to marry him. Carlos had an older sister, Eleonora, that would always be present whenever they met. Eleonora was kept to herself, and Camilla couldn't help but to admire her coyness from afar, an inhibition that tasted like the sweetest cherries on a sunny day. A stillness that exuded kindness and would leave a fresh coconut fragrance lingering in the air. Camilla would often try to guess what was going through Eleonora's mind. It secretly became her favorite game to play, second to imagining what talking to her would be like. Camilla couldn't even picture a voice that would do Eleonora's aura justice. It didn't take long for the whole village to know about the refusal. Someone mentioned Camilla probably had a secret boyfriend already. Shortly after, pregnancy rumors started to spread, faster than the Morelli's spicy red wine could warm thirsty throats. Camilla's parents gave her a concerned ultimatum. She could either marry Carlos before the infamous baby was born, or she would have to leave their small town for good. On her last day there, Camilla received a note signed by Eleonora admitting she was the one that started telling folks that Camilla had a lover. The reason? Eleonora didn't want Camilla in her family, naming her strange and inadequate. Taking only that letter and the clothes on her body, Camilla soared quietly to the nearest beach. Colorful umbrellas surrounded her long, flowy curls. The sand below her feet was as soft as powdery sugar. The giggling of the small waves was inviting. Camilla took deep, salted breaths as the wind gently carried her near the ocean. As the light breeze caressed her rosy cheeks, Camilla unbuttoned the light blue georgette cardigan that her auntie had made for her. The pearl white of the dress underneath exposed a striking contrast with her smooth olive skin. In less than 10 steps, her feet would feel the fresh, salty water, Camilla thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On 6, her toes were timidly kissed by the calm sea. Her whole body tingled for a second. Camilla went deeper into the water, letting the current take full control of her body. The undulation felt like the perfect lullaby for such a vivid dream. She watched the clouds travel across the blue sky and waved at the ones that didn't seem too busy. Under long, full eyelashes, her brown eyes melted with the setting sun into a kaleidoscopic twilight of their own. A deep sense of relief took over Camilla as she floated in those turquoise waters. Eleonora had always been much better in her imagination, but that didn't matter anymore. Without the rumor and the ultimatum, Camilla might have never had the courage to leave the village and try to find somewhere where she feels like she belongs. Her wholehearted ingenuity had always been her best companion, she realized. She finally let go of the letter and watched as the indigo ink blobs disintegrated in the water. An almost overwhelming sense of peace invaded her chest. When Camilla stepped out of the sea, her mind was free. That full tide seemed to last forever, only to hold Camilla's hand as she walked along the coast for hours. The dusk was slowly coming down upon the shore, and, in the fading light, the birds soared to their nests. The white dress dried under that glorious sunset as Camilla headed towards the Marbello Monastery, barefoot.